Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, everybody? That's how I start my training, so I don't know where that came from. But hey. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all well. Today we are joined by the wonderful, amazing Executive Regional Vice President, Claire Fishenden.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So Claire's just got her beautiful picture of Stuart up today, and you're looking stunning there, BTW. And so I just wanted to invite Claire onto the call this morning to share with you all what she discovered and what she learned from the amazing training that she went to in Vegas. And by the way, I'm so there next year with Tony Robbins because he is my guru. I absolutely love him. Can't believe he's going to be there next year. So that's in the diary. I listened to that call that you did with Loretta last night, and it is phenomenal. It's so exciting. And didn't get to do my text messages because other things was happening, but I'm doing them today on the way to the airport. How about that? And yeah, absolutely loved it. So I highly recommend you all listen to the call. It's on Facebook. I'll tag you in it after the Zoom, and when you get time, just have a little listen because it's absolutely brilliant, and it's hot off the press of them stepping off the plane, so you get their energy and you understand what they've just experienced. So today we're going to have a little look at a few things about the system and also about discipline, because I'm finding that one of the hardest things for me is to be disciplined. But what I've also realized is that you can learn it. You can get yourself into that mode, and it's all about just getting yourself into those decisions to be disciplined. And once you do it, it is phenomenal. And I've discovered a few little things that I like to do to help me be a bit more disciplined, and I just wanted to share that with you. So before we start, I'd like to hand over to the wonderful Fishenden to share what you learned from your amazing time in Vegas with Eric Worre. Over to you, Claire.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Sophia for her absolute commitment to her business and to you all. You know, the fact that no one could make the call today, but she's here doing this call regardless. She's actually representing discipline and teaching you discipline without maybe her even realising it. Her doing that is showing us all discipline. So thank you for that, Sophia. And you've got a fantastic leader. So she's going to go places. So follow her wherever she goes. So it's hard to put into words what I kind of learned from the Eric Worre experience. One thing I learned is that it's not necessarily what's being said. It's the way that it makes you feel. And there was just so many different speakers that just touched me. Because it was an industry event rather than an Arbonne event, it just opened your eyes up to the fact that we as an industry have the best thing. It is absolutely, as Eric Worre would say, a better way. So let's go pro, so let's go professional. And I think it's really important that we make sure that we're teaching people to become professional network marketers rather than them being amateurs. Because when we're amateurs or posers, if you haven't read Go Pro, the book, you need to absolutely read it. I highly recommend it. If people are out there like that, it's going to give our industry not as a good name as if we were all wanting to be professionals, and that was what we were urging to have, is to have that professional quality about us. One of the things that just literally blew my mind is they did an under 30s panel, and there were 6 people on the panel. And one of them had basically their pay was between $65,000 a month to $250,000 a month that these people were earning, and it just blew my mind. And it's kind of like pushed my boundaries on what I believe I'm thinking, nation, I can't wait to be a nation. But it's so much more than that. It's like, it's what can you achieve beyond that point? Like, we've only got 4 management levels, and all national vice presidents can earn a different amount, but I absolutely am committed to being on that top 10 income earner list, so I can show you guys what's possible. And any of you could be on that list before I am. So, I mean, I'm thinking about not covering some of the stuff that I touched on the call, because I really, really, really think you should watch that, because like Sophia said, that was literally hot off the plane. like we were just absolutely on fire, and you can't necessarily regenerate that in the same way. Even though I absolutely feel exactly the same, I feel like I'm on an absolute...
Oh, hello, Claire. Oh, I think we've lost her. We have lost her. Hello?
Hello, sorry, I had a call come through.
Oh, that's okay.
1 second. Hope it doesn't come through again. Yeah, so all of the bits that we took note of were, you know, mainly kind of quotes, because you hear the most important things, and those are the things that that come down. But self-image, like the image of what we picture ourselves as, is what we're going to create for our future. So, and there's a very different thing between what I've learned and what they were saying, is that hearing knowledge and applying knowledge are two very different things. So we've got to become a master of hearing knowledge and then acting upon it and actually using it. So, yeah, I wrote down here, actually, I will be a servant to my team's dreams. And you can change the world one voice at a time. I totally believe that we as a unit can change the world one voice at a time. Like, how many people do you know get on that train every single day, go to work and do something that they hate, and then they come home and have hardly any time with their children, and they're desperately looking for something else? Or how many actors do you know that, you know, finish a job and feel really unhappy and depressed because they go from feeling really high to really low, and then not feeling worthy, and, you know, going out dressed as a tomato doing a promotional job when really they just want to, you know, be seen on a stage, or they just want to feel fulfilled. Those people are waiting for us to tell them about Arbonne. Now, whether Arbonne is right for them or not, the biggest thing is we're not in the convincing business. We're in the business of helping people, of educating people, and help them understand what Arbonne is. Whether they do it or not is besides the point. But do you know what you could probably do for every single person you've done a presentation to, if you're doing it yourself, is recommend them a book. Like, I recommended Sophia a book. I didn't do a presentation to her before she started her business. I recommended the Success Principles, and she can maybe touch on it in a second about what that, and she probably already has mentioned to you all. You know, recommend people books. Go about your life by helping others and having an impact on other people just by touching them with something that you've learned. Whether they do Arbonne or not is besides the point, and one day they may do. The other thing that I think all of us, because most of you guys are actors, I think, apart from maybe Becky. Is that right, Soph?
And Sam.
And Sam. Okay, sorry. Becky and Sam. So apart from you two beautiful ladies, and this can still
Aga,
be...
sorry.
Aga. Oh, and Aga, yeah. So apart from three, but there's a group of you, but even for you guys to know, actors are hot prospects. They absolutely are. So what I'm going to do a training specifically for actors to help you guys get more actors into the business. Right. So I'm going to do that, and anyone else can listen in if they want to, but I do think it's easier for us because we go, you know, oh, I felt exactly the same as you. You know, I know exactly how you feel. I felt exactly the same, and this is what I found when I started my Arbonne business. But also, we're fantastic at telling stories. And that was one of the biggest things throughout the whole thing. That when I go back to say it wasn't what they were saying, it's how they made me feel. Everyone spoke in stories. They would tell a story. Like I just did. Have you ever felt like this? Have you ever felt like that? You know, get really good at telling your story about how you heard about Arbonne, why you're doing Arbonne. You don't necessarily have to do a presentation. You just pique someone's interest by your story. Don't go into the ins and outs of it. If someone wants to know the ins and outs of it, say, well, let's have a coffee and I'll tell you about it. But get your storytelling really, really good, and we love a story. And you know, you other ladies, Sam, Aga, and Becky, you can obviously take that note as well, because that is what everyone was doing, and they're not all actors that were up there. But what I know is about actors is that there are 10 national vice presidents in the UK, and 7 of them are performers, stroke actors. There are 19 regional vice presidents in Sarah Dunning's Success Line, and 12 of those are performers. So actually, you guys are the future. you know, future people that are coming through. And the reason I think we're so good, and if you're sponsored by an actor or in an actor's team, you're going to get the skills that they've got. So actually this team is like a dream team for me, because we've got tenacity, we've got work ethic, we get it, you know. So I'm going to do a call specifically on that, but I just want you to know how special you all are, and that you can absolutely do this. You can absolutely do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'm not even anywhere near where I want to be in this business right this second, anywhere near. So I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm committed to personal development. I'm committed to, you know, getting into massive action, committed to all of that. So, and I want to help you all achieve all of your goals. So thank you so much, Sophia, for asking me on the call. And I can't wait to hear your training now.
Nervous. Fantastic. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Claire. And yeah, the way that Claire brought me into the business was through giving me the most incredible book that really did change my life. And I've passed that book on, the Success Principles, to so many people. I've just given it to my brother, and he's had such a light bulb moment in his life. So that for me has been incredible to be able to have that. And she knew that I wasn't ready to listen to the business just yet, but she knew that I had to do some developing first and get myself out of where I was. And then when I had opened up my mind, I was absolutely 100% ready to listen. And even though I didn't know that I was, Claire knew that I was. So, you know, reading that person and reading that situation, and not taking it back because you're scared, but taking it back because you know that they're not quite ready for it. To read that person is really, really important, because you don't want to go in hell for leather if they're not ready for it just yet. And that's something that you do learn over time, but the only way you learn it is by getting out there and talking to people as well. So with that, thank you, Claire, that was amazing. I'm going to go on to discipline. So what I've done is I've taken the word discipline, and I've given us a little pointers for every single word, every letter in the word discipline, and I've made up my own thing about what I think discipline is about, because I found it quite difficult to become have an entrepreneur mindset, being my own businesswoman. I had a Zumba class for about 2 years, and probably never had any books or never made any money from it, because I was just like, oh, I'm just having a good time and I have fun. And, you know, I should have had my business head on for it, but I didn't. And now I realize that I have to have a business head on for this, because this is a business. This is a multi-million-pound, extremely amazing, incredible business. And, you know, the business won't run on its own. So if you lack discipline, then you won't get the results that you need. So, and sometimes our lives go all over the place, that we don't know where we're going, we don't know how we're doing it. So you have to implement discipline into your life to be able to know that you're still doing your everyday Arbonne work. And I know, Claire, I listened to the call yesterday, you're doing a daily thing. What's it called?
A DMO, a daily method of operation.
Fantastic. And this is what I've been trying to get with the team and implement with that. So I cannot wait until we get our daily method of operation intact, because that would just be brilliant. So I'm going to start. So we have the word discipline. So first of all, we have the first letter, D. Now, I believe this is about a decision. It's about making a decision to be disciplined. It's not about having willpower. It's about making the decision to take your business in a different direction. When you make the decision and commit to it, your mind opens up and gives you the knowledge, the tools, and the guidance to do the right thing. So we can go about our daily lives, and by the end of the day, we go, oh, I didn't do that. But because we didn't schedule it in, because you weren't disciplined and you weren't make a decision, you didn't get it done. So the first thing to do is make a decision to be disciplined. The next letter, I, in the moment. To be disciplined, you have to be focused on the task in hand. Distractions are the bane of my life. I'm always distracted by things that are going on in my life. So I need to be focused and erase the distractions that are around me. So for example, when you're reading, Maybe put your phone on flight mode, or put your phone in another room. Be in the moment and give 100% attention to the job in hand. Now, this also goes without saying, when you're in people's company, say for example, you're with your family, be in that moment. Don't be checking your phone to see if anyone's replied to your text messages, or be in that moment. If your family time, your friends time, be in the moment. If your work time, be in the moment. So get rid of all the distractions around you and be 100% in the now. S, strictness. Be strict with yourself. That is a massive thing about discipline. You have to be strict. Set yourself time limits to get the job done. The amount of time you give yourself is the amount of time you will take to do the task. Limit yourself on meaningless things like TV. As the wonderful Ian Pritchard said to us years ago, there are no QV in TV. And I've never ever forgotten that. And also social media, Facebook and Twitter. Now, social media is our friend and it's a massive way of we do our business, but use it to your advantage and don't waste time on it. Write yourself out a timetable or a little schedule in the evening before you go to bed and stick to it. Be strict with yourself. Be strict with the Arbonne system. Follow it and do not try to reinvent the wheel. Follow it to the letter. Be strict with your meetings, so know that you only have an hour. Be strict with the content in the presentation. Know that if you're talking to a mum, that you're going to angle it towards that. If you're talking to an actor, you're going to angle it towards that. Be strict with yourself so you're not going off on a tangent. And also, if you have only an hour for the meeting, you're showing the prospect that you're able to fit it in your life, and therefore they will be able to fit it in their lives. If you have a meeting for 4 hours, they're going to think, we're never going to do this. So be strict with your time as well. Then we have C, conduct. Be 100% aware of how you conduct yourself in and out of your Arbonne world. Be the person that you want to attract. So if you're at a social event, if it's Arbonne related or non-Arbonne related, think about how you would like to be remembered. So if you were to contact somebody after that, they would go, oh, I remember that person. They were so bubbly and they were so lovely and their energy was infectious. Not, oh God, they were so drunk and they were talking nonsense to me. So be aware of how you're conducting yourselves, because that's the impression you're leaving behind on people. Also, show that you have a life outside of Arbonne too. Be positive. Be healthy. We are a health and wellness company, but also be mindful of how much you do that as well, because the world out there is, they don't love positivity and people have a bit of a negative feeling towards it. So just be mindful of how you conduct that. Don't plaster every other post that you're happy, 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 but also never ever air your dirty laundry on Facebook. If you're going through something, go through it privately, because people will remember things like that if you're that type of person. So just be very mindful of how you use social media. And if somebody puts something positive on there, like it, comment on it. So there's always a stream of good stuff coming up on your Facebook page. And always remember in your team to moan up and praise down. So if you're having a bad day with Arbonne, if you're having a confidence crisis, whatever, never ever moan to your team. Always moan up to your sponsor and to your upline, and they can help you out of it. And always praise down to your team. Always, always, always praise. Because I know that if I'm not in a good place, if in the past, if I've moaned to my team, they then get on the same bandwagon as me, and we're going, yeah, I can't be bothered, yeah, I'm tired, rah, rah, rah. So it has a really infectious, it's really infectious to the rest of your team. And as a leader, if somebody's moaning to you, you can say to them, that's great, let's have a moan, and then that's it. Get your 5 minutes on your stool, and then we're getting off. Let's get out from under our duvet and let's move it on positively. So you have to always remember that, how to conduct yourself. The next one is for imagination. Use your imagination when being disciplined. Get excited about the tasks that you want to set yourself. Make your tasks enjoyable. So, for example, do your reading in a nice quiet place with a nice cup of tea or coffee. Write out your goals on a pin board, on a whiteboard, make it look nice. Make it a little project, but don't make the project too long. Don't make it all about the project and not do the task in hand, because that's something that I've been guilty of in the past. I love a bit of stationery, me. So your affirmations, I have put mine on post-it notes and put them all around my mirror. So while I'm putting on my gorgeous RE9, I'm doing my affirmations. So they're not something that I have to remind myself every morning. They're just there. They're there. I can see them. They're visual. I'm quite a visual person. So if that works for you as well, that could be something that you could do. So set yourself up to win. Always set yourself up to win. So use your imagination and think outside the box when you're setting up your tasks, and find different ways to get your tasks done. The next one is P for practice. Practice makes perfect. We're always told this as we're growing up. If we repeat something enough times, it becomes a bit easier the next time we do it. We condition our body. If we are an athlete, we condition our bodies. So we are athletes in a different way, and we're conditioning our mind. As a baby, we learn how to crawl. We practiced every day rolling over to our tummies. We got stronger by pushing ourselves up, and then we got the strength and the confidence to stand up. Then we probably fell over. We stood up again, and we took one step in front of the other. We'd fall over hundreds of times, but no matter what, we would get up and we would try again. So how many ever times we fell over, we would keep practicing and practice and practice and practice. So for example, for a dancer or a singer, we practice every day our breathing exercises, our vocal exercises, our dancing exercises. So when it comes to doing a high kick in a dance routine, we don't even have to think about it anymore. For example, if you're a waitress, when you first started it, you'd write down those specials, or you'd think about how you put the knives and forks down, how you'd set the table out. You practice it every single day. You don't even have to write those specials down anymore. You remember them in your head. So we know, as human beings, by practicing something, it becomes easier and easier every time. So practice that presentation. Practice it every day. Do a slide a day. Do it sitting to your teddy bears. Do it sitting to your pillows. Do it into the mirror. Record it. You could set your own Zoom call up and record the presentation and watch it back and note yourself and see how it goes. So practice, practice, practice. Where are we? Next one. Next letter is L for learning. Discipline is all about learning something new. And the beauty of Arbonne is that it is all learnable. As I said to you before, I was not a natural businesswoman, but now I am. And I've learnt how to be an entrepreneur. I've learnt how to be organized. I've learnt how to be a leader. And I'm learning how to be disciplined. Be open to learning, and you will discipline yourself to be a student again. Remember those times when you were at school, when you were at college, you were at university, and you were learning a new skill. Think of how you felt when you learnt something and you put it into action. And that's all about being disciplined and being open to learning something new. But in this sense, we're learning about our own lives. We're learning about how to have a different lifestyle. How exciting is that? So make it fun and find a way how it works for you, how to learn. The next letter is I for incentive. When you set yourself tasks to achieve your goals, set yourself incentives. Reward yourself for the action you have taken. It can be as small as a nice cup of coffee in your favourite coffee shop, 30 minutes of your favourite TV programme, but only 30 minutes because there's no QV in TV. It could be a nice phone call with a friend of yours. It's a little virtual pat on the back to yourself to say, well done. And this really helps you to focus on the action and not the result. I know that my business completely changed the minute I focused on the action and not the result. I had a fantastic call with Claire. She actually made me cry, but never mind. Giving me some tough love when I was in Torquay. Do you remember we had our Zoom call?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going, yeah, I'm going to be region by the end of the year. And she was like, really? Can you get on 40 calls this month? And I was like, no. She was like, well, how are you going to do it then? I was like, oh. But it was incredible because it made me refocus everything. And what she said to me was, I just don't want you to be back here again and give yourself these massive goals and these massive tasks, and you're not able to achieve them, and then you get disheartened again, because that's been my whole journey. So this time round, I still set myself my goals, and they scare the bejesus out of me, because if they don't, then they're not big enough. But I concentrate on the action, and every time I make a call, every time I text somebody, I give myself a big massive tick, and a massive tick on a pat on the back, and I set myself up to win. It's all about setting yourself up to win, guys, and set yourself incentives. If you make 10 calls in the week, buy yourself a nice little, something. And incentives are such a good idea for yourself, and then if you don't do it, then you're not going to get that reward at the end of it. So I think that's a really, really nice one to do. Set yourself a little incentive. Okay, the next letter, N. No matter what. Always set yourself up to win. Chunk down the tasks so they are doable. Allocate a time in your day to do it. Don't be vague about how you're going to set your tasks up. Set out a time when you can do your income producing activity, your personal development, and training your team. Schedule it in and then say, no matter what, that is my priority. Having a no matter what attitude will change your business. And if it's the tiniest thing of just making a call, a quick text message, schedule it in. No matter what, it's done. Then you can carry on and do your next thing. The last letter is energy. Energy is the most vital thing in life and in your Arbonne business. If you do a task with the right energy, you will get the right result. Always try to maintain good, positive energy. And you can help yourself setting yourself up by putting 20 minutes aside for a bit of daily exercise, or 3 times a week. I found that walking in the first thing in the morning really sets my day up. I haven't been able to do it for a while because my timetable's been all over the place. But once we get back into show mode, I'm going to be up and out in that park, raincoat on, weather permitting, everything. Not weather permitting, so regardless of the weather, I'm going to be out there. And that's something that I have to be really disciplined about, because I know that sets my day off, and I have my hour of power every morning. You have to make sure you rest well and you sleep well. And I think we've got someone joining. Oh, Claire's saying hello. You put your video on, Claire?
Logged me out.
Oh, there we go. Are you back on? There you go.
Back on.
So resting well and sleeping enough is really important as well, because you have to have your good energy, and you have to have the right energy to go about your daily routine and your daily Arbonne business as well. So that's my little thing on discipline. I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. There's something that I know that I've had to work on, but once I've set myself up to win and given myself some really lovely little tasks to do, they just become second nature. And then that discipline motivates me to want to get that momentum going in my business. And before I know it, I'm making those calls without even thinking about it. So
that's absolutely amazing, Soph.
Thank you.
I just wanted to comment on the things that really sort of stood out to me, because I personally, I'm not as disciplined as I could be either. I think it's something that everyone's fighting against a little bit. But when you nail it, it's amazing. Yeah. When I do my 10 pages of reading every day, and I'm committed to that, and I listen to an audio every day, I feel completely different. So it's so important. But the 3 things, I just have taken some notes there. I was typing away. Even just the title of what you're saying, the decision to be disciplined. Take that decision, make that decision. Presentation skills, you are only as good as your presentation skills, basically. So that is massive, and I think that somewhere along the way that's kind of got watered down a little bit, not necessarily in your team but in the whole organisation. And it is so important, the presentation. Practice that presentation, be a master of that, be the best speaker at that, get up and book opportunity meetings in the area that you're in, and get up and do it. Just get amazing at it. And you guys have all got all the fantastic skills that you can do that. And then lastly, the reward, action rather than the result. That is massive, because if you reward the result, you get disappointed. But if you reward the action that you're taking every single day, you'll have the most phenomenal business, because you'll be on an even keel. You won't be on an emotional roller coaster of like, oh. So yeah, thank you so much. I've got so many tips there. Really appreciate that. I'm like tapping away.
Amazing, fantastic. Right, I was going to touch on the system, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to go because I've got a flight to catch and I haven't packed yet. So I'm just going to leave the call there with discipline, and just go through all the stuff that we've just been through and work out where you're in the training that Claire did the other day on the Zoom call. We had our basic skills and marked it out from 1 to 10. And I think that's a really good way of evaluating where you're at. So if there's something that you're not good at, say, for example, the presentation, mark yourself up from 1 to 10, where you're at the presentation. So you can know that if you're a 5 or a 6, you've got to get on that. And that's got to be your priority. Or if you're not good at practicing something, or, you are really good at the way you conduct yourself. If you go, I conduct myself really well on Facebook and in the real world as well, then give yourself a tick and a pat on the back. So go through all those little things in discipline and mark yourself from 1 to 10 of where you're at, and then you know what we have to work on together. So it's coming to the end of the month, and I just want to make sure everyone's put their 150 through. And also from the 1st of December, we're also going to be having a 10-15 minute call where I'm going to be having with my directs, and my directs are going to be having it with their directs, on evaluating your last month. I'm going to send out some questions, and we're just going to have a 10-15 minute call or a coffee, and we're going to do it over the 1st and the 2nd of December, so we can evaluate our month and then set ourselves up for the next month. Okay, so we're going to start implementing that as of Monday. So I'll be making, I'll send out some emails to get some times once we get our schedule as well. And we're going to start doing that Monday, Tuesday. Those are the days we're going to do it. All right, so make sure you tick out a block of 10-15 minutes to speak to your sponsor, and we're going to evaluate our month. So, and December's going to rock it. Okay. So thank you so much, Claire, for joining us on our.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. And have a wonderful day, everybody. And I'm going to send out this call so you can have it by this evening, and have a little listen, and let's get disciplined. I'm so excited for everybody. Can't wait to see you all. And hopefully next week we'll be able to reconnect and all be on the call again. All right. So have a wonderful day. I love you all. Thank you. Claire, I love you.
Love you.
Speak to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Speak to you soon. Bye.